Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Tony there. I'm Andy Billman here. Needless to say, now that we're in playoff time, every week is a big week, but this one has a lot of juice to it. Why? Every stat, every statistic you tell you says Browns beat the Texans. They're 90% plus of making the playoffs. Even some statistics will show you it's in the 95 percentile and higher. So this is the game. Tony, you hate to put that kind of pressure on a game like this, but it is. It really emphasizes how close the Browns are if they win this game.
Yeah, it really will take that burden off the last couple of weeks and allow them to just play for that potential, that slim chance of the 1 seed, or still keep their hopes alive at the AFC North Division title, because getting 1 or 2 home playoff games could be the difference to this team who gets a lot more energy when they get to play in front of the fans in Cleveland.
I agree. I think the key to the Browns is staying healthy. They got some breaks. Ethan Posick's back. Joe Bitonio did practice on Friday. That's good news. Yep. It's actually not bad news. It actually sounds like the Browns might have some players back, which is good to hear. No Thornhill. And then Walker, boy, I'll get your opinion. I mean, this is just true opinions. We're not doctors.
Right.
Walker sounds like a guy's not coming back, but that's what I heard. When you hear surgery and week to week, at this point, there's not that many weeks. So, Tony, though, I will say I thought the injury report was more positive this week because they got some players back.
Right, definitely for getting some guys back, and Thornhill still missing a game. I think that's probably more on just the precautionary side. We see the young safeties have filled in and played well, so there's no reason. That calf injury's been nagging him all year.
Yep.
There's no get him back to full health for the games that we absolutely need him. Walker, the way that they're talking about the injury is definitely sounds concerning. They seem more pessimistic about it as the weeks go on. So hopefully it's not as bad as it sounds, but yeah, definitely nice to get some guys back. We're definitely gonna need Posick. We're gonna need some of those bodies back on the O line.
Yeah, if you want the big red flag in this game, it's the defensive line for the Texans. They are good. They also are missing Will Anderson, which is not a minor injury. Now he's questionable, so he might play. But Will Anderson, if he does not play, is a huge miss for the Texans. But they're still very talented, Tony. They're athletic. So they're going to put pressure on this offensive line. That's probably the one matchup here that doesn't look great. I will just say it. It's moving forward, being realistic, especially from what I've seen from James Hudson. I'll let you come in. I think offensive line is going to be a bit of a worry every game now.
Yeah, they're really just consistently one guy away, and that's whether it's Hudson getting beat or Christian getting beat or someone. They'll all have their moments where they look like they're doing their job well, but then they're going to get beat too. But it's just consistently they're one guy away. But definitely the Texans front is strong, and as depleted as the Browns are, it's going to be a challenge. But hopefully they can get a little bit of push. They can find a little bit of success in the run game. It doesn't have to be the Browns run game that we've known it to be the last few years, but just to take a little bit of pressure off of the pass game, because obviously the more times you put the ball in the air, the more times you're going to throw some interceptions, which obviously you can get turnovers on the ground as well, but just would be nice to create some more running room, can possess the ball a little bit, but it's going to be a challenge.
It's a double dip, too. To Tony's point, you make more mistakes. It also extends the game. If you pass more, your games are longer. People keep saying, why are the games so long? Well, they keep throwing. When you throw the ball, you're going to have longer games, which means more plays, which means more potential for injuries. So I agree with Tony. You got to just run the ball just to shrink the game down, just so you're not playing as many plays and you're not having to go in there. I concur with Tony. They got to find some running game. And this week, actually, I don't think that's that impossible. The Bears I was impressed with the Bears defense. They're good.
Yeah.
The Texans defensive line is good, but I don't know if it's as elite as the Bears are. But I think they're going to give some challenges. To me, this game, Tony, comes down to the key because it's Case Keenum, which is a huge break for the Browns. He's average. He's not bad. He's not good. He's average. So they really have an opportunity here to take advantage of that situation. I think on the road, the biggest thing, we talked about this in our key matchups, number 3, I just think it's turnovers. Mm-hmm. The Browns have to limit their turnovers in this game. And I know I'm saying something that's probably never – because they've been turning the ball over all year. They have the most giveaways in the league. But, Tony, they have to really shrink that down in this game because that's the one thing I see that really worries me outside defensive line for the Texans.
Yeah, the silver lining, I guess, with the turnovers is the ones that are happening as of late are seemingly ones that are just coming because you got a group of guys that haven't played a lot together.
Right.
For Flacco's interception, Tillman didn't run his route correctly,
Right.
and then it led right to being an easy interception that got set him up for a touchdown. So things like that should work themselves out. But yeah, the way the Browns defense should be able to lock down Case Keenum as
Yeah.
long as they come out with energy from the start. And then if we can just play clean football, the offense probably only needs to find 2 or 3 scoring drives, and that should be enough.
Yeah, the Texans are very average at best at running. They're not a bad running team, but they're not. It isn't like the teams we've been facing lately. They're very average. And again, Case Keenum, everything goes down. That actually plays right into the Browns' hands. That's why the safety, Thornhill being out, it's not good, but it's not as backbreaking as it has been because they're not going to go deep in this game. So it really allows the Browns to play in a box, which the Browns are actually really good at. When the Browns are 10 yards or in, the Browns defense can really lock in there. But that, to me, is the key in this game. Flacco, whether it's Flacco fever that ESPN Cleveland's been hyping, or I call it Fabulous Flacco, Joe Cool, it's all there more. It's a fairy tale type thing. Tony, I don't really see this slowing down this week. I actually think Joe can play better. So I actually don't think it's going to worsen anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll only get better because there's still been some hesitations throwing it down the field in that middle area. He loves ripping it deep, but that sort of 10 to 20 yard second level throws, I'd like them to start using those more because they were there last week. But those are going to be things that come with more time in the offense, more time playing with guys. So I agree. I think he's going to just get better every week, and hopefully they can keep finding ways to stack wins.
Big game. I don't really see much else in this game. Everything I'm saying, I have confidence in the Browns because it's on the road. Very 50-50 game. It's good that the Browns are playing indoors. I actually think that's going to help them in this game. I think they could use that off. And again, I just think it is rely on Flacco. Tony hit it, and I was going to say the same thing. Develop some running game.
Yep.
Don't rely on it, but you have to shrink the game down. When you have a lead, you got to run out the clock. Those kind of things really come in play. Let the special teams carry you in certain moments, which they have been. The punting, kicking's a given. Hopkins is great. The punting this year from Bajorquez has been wonderful. I don't know if you've taken note of it. I have. Bajorquez is a real weapon.
Yeah, there's nobody who's got a leg quite like his. If I had anything to complain about, he's not the best at pinning him deep. He can pin him deep when he's got his back in the other end zone.
Yeah.
He's got the whole field, but when he's got to kick it 50 yards, he's not as precise, but man, he can really flip the field for us, and it's been a weapon to have.
Green Bay made a mistake with him. That guy has been really, really wonderful for us. So that's my thing. Final thoughts, Tony, as we head into such a critical game when it comes to making the playoffs for the Browns.
There's been some concerns about the energy on the road, so it'd be really nice to see them come out, have an opening drive touchdown, defense coming out with energy, and if they do that, it really should be not an easy win, but a win that they should have for sure.
I would just say I actually have only noticed that so far in the 2 West Coast games.
Yeah.
Denver and LA, they look sleepy. I actually didn't see that in Seattle. I know they started off slow. But I didn't think that was energy level. I certainly didn't see that in Indianapolis. They actually scored right away in that game. So I actually haven't seen that on the road as much. I know people have been saying that. The 2 West Coast games, I'm interested to see if that's an outlier or those are things to come. I really do think that West Coast swing is a unique thing. Maybe I'm wrong. And by the way, they come out and do the same thing, then I am wrong. But I just think that West Coast thing was a separate ordeal. I really do. Because I thought about it, I was like, they didn't start off slow against Steelers. They really, I know there was that wacky play.
They had the weird starts in Baltimore too,
right. Well, Baltimore, again, I didn't think it was energy level.
No, it was just lucky play.
Lucky play. I just think those kind of things happen.
Yeah.
So I will say it again. I really see in this game, no turnovers, keep it simple, and I just think you'll wear them down. But the Texans are good. I'm not saying, but when I say that, I don't think it's an easy game. That's why, someone kept asking me, you're making it sound like it's easy. I'm like, I actually don't think this game's going to be easy. But if they keep it simple, I actually just think the Browns will overpower. But turnovers and on the road, we'll see. Tony Camino and I do a bunch of stuff at BelieveInTheLand.com. We'll be doing a whole bunch of film review sessions next week. We'll also do a film and review after the Jets game. It's a big week coming up for us. Check out everything we do on BelieveInTheLand.com, Believe in the Land, and then see Tony and I, bright and shiny faces. We don't care about Christmas Eve. We'll be there 9 a.m. talking Browns and Texans. See you then.